morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Thursday, November 4th, 2021. And we begin with a whale of a true tale casting light on the monstrous diet of the ocean's biggest mammal. A new study in Nature reports that baleen whales, like blue, humpback, and fin varieties, take in 10 to 20 tons of food per day. That number is, on average, about 3 times more than previously believed. As Stanford University researcher Matthew Savoca points out, it's also the equivalent of eating 70 to 80,000 Big Macs a day. He and his colleagues collected the data by monitoring 300 tagged whales and using underwater devices that measure the size of krill swarms they encounter, which are the mainstay of their diet. Previously, scientists had only been guessing at these numbers by estimating how much smaller ocean animals were eating and then measuring up. For a time yesterday, it looked every bit like an upset was in the works, but when all was said and done, New Jersey kept its Democratic governor in office. The margin of victory for incumbent Phil Murphy was surprisingly thin, which means his Republican challenger may ask for a recount. South to Virginia and the state's top seat did change hands and parties. Out is Democrat Terry McAuliffe. In is Republican Glenn Youngkin. In a couple of expected yet historic mayoral wins, Michelle Wu will become the first woman and first person of color to run Boston. Eric Adams will become only the second black mayor to lead New York City. And back in Tinton Falls, New Jersey, 97-year-old World War II veteran Vito Perillo won a second term. Mr. Perillo is believed to be the oldest mayor in the U.S. The reigning MVP of the NFL will not be lacing up his cleats this Sunday. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has to sit out the much-anticipated game against the Kansas City Chiefs after testing positive for COVID-19. According to multiple news outlets, Rodgers is not vaccinated by NFL standards. If true, he'll also be facing a nearly $15,000 fine for failing to wear a mask at indoor press conferences. Rodgers was also seen not wearing a mask at a recent Halloween party, which he attended with several teammates. A mandatory 10-day quarantine will put Rodgers back in action just one day before next weekend's matchup with the Seahawks, providing he's symptom-free. In his absence on Sunday, backup quarterback Jordan Love is expected to get his first ever start as the Packers try to extend a 7-game winning streak. A teenage girl from India is having her moment in the sun at the UN Climate Change Conference for an invention she created at age 12. Walking home from school one day, Venetia Umashankar saw a street vendor who irons clothes for a living dumping burnt charcoal coals on the side of the road. Thinking these old-fashioned pollution-emitting iron boxes were due for an update, Venetia had an idea. 6 months and a stack of college-level physics textbooks later, she invented the Iron Max, a solar-powered ironing cart. With the help of the Indian government, she created a prototype for her revolutionary design. Painted bright blue and attached to a bicycle for easy transport, the cart's battery can even store energy for cloudy days. Venetia credits an encyclopedia gifted to her at age 5 for sparking her interest in science. One day, she hopes to win the Nobel Prize. Better not leave turkey shopping until the last minute. Many stores across the country will be closed on Thanksgiving this year. Target got the ball rolling when it announced in January that it will close its stores on Thanksgiving Day to reduce crowds. Walmart followed in June, saying the closure is a thank you to its employees for hard work during the pandemic. Other stores like Best Buy, Costco, and Trader Joe's will also be closed, as well as malls across the country. However, stores like CVS, Kroger, and Whole Foods will be open, so if you end up needing an 11th-hour turkey, you'll know where to look. That's it for KidNuz this morning. Now our KidNuz quiz. A new study shows that baleen whales eat the equivalent of how many Big Macs per day? 70 to 80,000. What NFL star quarterback has just tested positive for COVID-19? Aaron Rodgers. A teenage girl in India has invented a solar-powered ironing cart. What's it called? The Iron Max. What city has just elected its first woman and person of color as mayor? Boston. And in our KidNuz kicker, in what may be the crowning achievement of convenience foods, Heinz has released Christmas dinner in a can. Chock full of chunks of turkey, pigs in a blanket, Brussels sprouts, potatoes, and balls of stuffing. It even comes with its own gravy and cranberry sauce. Whether you find the idea tempting or terrible, you'll most likely have to put your taste buds on hold. The company produced only 500 cans of this special soup variety, and all were sold out within hours of its Monday launch. Before we go, a big KidNuz shout out for our terrific teachers and their students. Ms. Romero at 3 Mariposas Montessori in Cabarete, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Mr. Hananel Scholars at Lopez Academy in Oxnard, California. Mrs. Black at Southern Huntingdon Middle School in Three Springs, Pennsylvania. Ms. Rogers at Skycrest Christian School in Clearwater, Florida. And Mrs. Seehafer at Heritage Elementary in De Pere, Wisconsin. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.